Champion Michael Robinson.
What's happening, people?
And our NFL reporter Mike Garafolo. And in for Colleen Wolfe this week.
MJ.
Thank you guys. Man, we should have done some choreography.
I know.
Man, we'll get it for the next block. That's for sure. We're going to get it in. All of it. The vibe, the guys, we're hitting it. Welcome in. Take a seat. I want you to hang with us throughout the show. Make sure you tweet us, because if it's not on Twitter or the gram, it ain't happening. So hashtag GNSB. Man, let's start with some big games on the schedule this weekend. There are 4 matchups.
That's going to be a big game.
Pairing teams with winning records, the Lions and Packers.
Now you're on Detroit.
I am on Detroit.
Welcome to the party.
You guys now,
That's Monday night. 2 NFC West rivals meeting in La La Land, Niners and Rams. And a couple teams that know each other very well.
Yes, they do.
Eagles at Vikings. And 2 of the best young QBs take center stage in KC. Deshaun Watson and the Texans visit Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs. Guys, that's where we're going to begin our walkthrough. Let's get ready for a Sunday on a Saturday. We're good. Watson and Mahomes drafted just 2 spots apart back in 2017. Now, 3 seasons later, they are thriving in the league. Watson coming off arguably one of the best games of his career, a perfect passer rating against Atlanta. While Mahomes on the struggle bus just a little bit, just 1 touchdown in his last 2 games combined. So, Mike Robb, what sticks out to you right now?
Well, what sticks out to me is you talk about that perfect passer rating from Deshaun Watson last week. I mean, it's because the pocket was clean. Right. And I know you may say, hey, you know, most quarterbacks want a clean pocket, but this guy has been operated under duress for so long. When he does have a clean pocket, I mean, he puts up phenomenal numbers. He only had 5 incompletions last week, D'Angelo, along with 5 touchdowns. I mean, when you protect this guy, he is amazing. I cannot wait to see both of these quarterbacks on the field at the same time, because both of these offenses are very explosive.
It's going to be hype for sure. And Niners at Rams, the 49ers averaging 200 yards per game on the ground so far. But they'll be tested against Aaron Donald, Aaron, and the Rams. On the flip side, it won't be easy for Jared Goff and that offense going against a San Francisco D with more interceptions than touchdowns allowed. D-Hall, what's the key in this game?
You know, when we saw that 49ers defense play, we left that game thinking, wow, this pass rush is really impressive. You know, you got Bosa and a couple of other guys on that team, and Alexander, the linebacker, just flying all around. And so, you know, when I see this team, for me, it's the secondary is not going to do a lot of things, right? They're not overly complicated. So it's this pass rush. Can this pass rush get to Jared Goff? We've been saying for a long time, Rams run the football, but they don't seem to want to run the football. So in this game, they're going to have to run the football so that 49ers defensive line is not continually rushing that quarterback.
Rams offensive line ain't playing like they have been in the past.
Not running it with Gurley listed as doubtful. He will not be playing.
Exactly. And like Quan says, they're looking for a legendary day in Los Angeles.
Right.
Cowboys at MetLife Stadium taking on the Jets. Dallas trying to rebound after back-to-back losses to the Saints and Packers. They face a New York team that's 0-4, but will welcome back their starting quarterback, Sam Darnold. No more mono. Jeezy, what do you expect?
I'm expecting a Jets offense that needs a shot in the arm to get a shot in the arm by Sam Darnold's return right here. But they had problems that extended well beyond the quarterback last week. I was down there covering that game against the Eagles. But you know how it is. You get your quarterback back, your franchise guy, the guy you put so much into, and now all of a sudden everybody's blocking better, the running game's better. So we'll see. I think this is actually a tough spot for the Cowboys, to be honest with you. The way they're struggling, going up against
trap
the team.
game, huh?
Not even a trap game, just a Jets team that's not as bad as that 0-4 record, particularly now that Darnold.
You are what your record says you are.
You're saying
I get it.
The numbers are lying.
And well, you are what your spleen says you are. Okay?
On that happy note, from one NFC East team to another, Eagles and Minnesota to face the Vikings. Both teams coming off of victories against New York teams. The Eagles dominated the Jets, while the Vikes derailed the Daniel Jones hype train. Mike Robb, what catches your eye about this matchup?
Well, Carson Wentz, man, he's been money on third down. It seems like he's back to his MVP form. He's been explosive on the money down, third down. They're completing almost 65% of his passes. He's explosive, almost 10 yards per attempt, 5 touchdowns, which is top in the National Football League. They're going up against a tough Minnesota Vikings defense who likes to pressure on third down. He has to be efficient on third down and have to be explosive on third down. They do that, they win this game.
There it is. Finally, it's the second straight week the NFL in London. Panthers, Bucks from the brand new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. These 2 teams actually met back in week 2, if y'all remember, when Christian McCaffrey was denied on the goal line, giving the Bucks that 20-14 win. Speaking of the UK, let's head on over to, to London, where it's usually raining, and that's exactly what's happening today. This is the 12th straight season of NFL London games, the 26th contest in the NFL in London as well. So for more on the NFC South matchup, we bring in my girl, Tiffany Blackmon. What's up, Tiff? Holding it down in the rain.
I'm doing what I can, MJ. I'm just outside the stadium. And as for Jameis Winston, what we're seeing out of him right now is a quarterback that has gotten increasingly more comfortable in the system each week. And it certainly helps to have a coach like Bruce Arians, known as the quarterback whisperer, in his ear, telling him to play fearless. So that 3-interception performance he had back in week 1, well, that's long gone in the rearview mirror. Since then, Winston has thrown 10 touchdown passes. That's tied for the most in the NFL right now. His passer rating, yards, and completion percentage, they've all improved too. And he does have the best wide receiver duo in the game right now in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Godwin, of course, having a breakout season. He is the team's leading receiver. And Evans, well, he has long been their number 1 guy, but they want to make sure they get the ball in his hands tomorrow, especially after what happened last week when he didn't have a single catch for just the second time in his career. Jameis Winston, he said, bottom line, to win games, we've got to get Mike Evans the ball.
That's it. Focus, straight to the point. Tiff, thanks so much. We'll talk to you in just a little bit. And guys, this game features a couple quarterbacks playing really well. Since week 2, both Jameis Winston and Kyle Allen are top 5 in passer ratings. All the other guys on that list, you might have heard of them. Wilson, Watson, and Mahomes, all, of course, in the MVP conversation. D-Hall, what are you going to be watching in this one specifically?
I'm going to be watching if this Tampa Bay team can be a little more consistent. And that's the thing for me. They've looked great at times. They've looked pretty bad at times. You think about the week 2 matchup with the Panthers earlier. They were able to hold Christian McCaffrey to 37 yards rushing, all right, 50 all-purpose yards. If they can make Kyle Allen sit back and drop back and be a passer and not rely on Christian McCaffrey, Shaq Barrett had 3 sacks. And so that's the kind of pressure this defense needs to impose, and they need to get turnovers. And so to me, stop Christian McCaffrey, and can this offense be consistently good down in and down out?
Well, you know, in that first game, it was a different quarterback.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's a little different circumstances. We ain't going to go there yet.
Gotta sprinkle that in.
That's going to be a little later
in the show. But I'm going to be watching Christian McCaffrey, right? Like, this guy is one of the MVP candidates of our league, almost 3,000 yards since 2018. He's second in the league in scrimmage yards with almost 1,000 scrimmage yards right now. I mean, can he do any more? I mean, they throw it to him, they hand it off to him, they try to use him down the football field, running routes down the field. I mean, just think about this. And I didn't think that he would be this good between the tackles. I mean, he forced 13 missed tackles just on 25 touches last week. Like, that's crazy, man. Like, every time he's one-on-one with somebody, they miss, like, every single time. I think this guy should be the highest paid guy on this team, but I ain't going to, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not going to fight for backs right now. I'm going to let that go a little bit later. But I'm telling you, Christian McCaffrey, we need to continue to talk about him. He's the most valuable player on this Carolina Panthers team.
Oh, you're just going to gloss over Kyle Allen like that?
I'm just saying.
I'm going to do that to me?
Yeah, I am.
That's okay. So then I'll make the case for
Go
Kyle
ahead. Let me hear it.
And why this matchup might be different than the last time. Because one of the things when you talk to the Panthers folks about what Kyle Allen has done so far is the short memory. You get a young quarterback, sometimes he'll make some mistakes. All of a sudden it starts to snowball. Not the case with Kyle Allen. I even go back a couple of games ago when they were facing the Texans. He had fumbled a couple of times in that game, 3 times I think at that point. And J.J. Watt is bearing down on him right in his grill. Makes the move. He sheds JJ, makes the throw. Pass is complete. He's pointing to the sky. He's so happy with himself. They're so happy with him. So I love that right now for him. And I think that's the most impressive. The other thing about him is he's been so good on third down for them. Usually I like to wait till later in the show to hit you with the numbers. I know it's early for some math. I'll hit you with the numbers right now because he's top 10 in yards on third down, yards per game on third down, touchdown passes, his 103.3 rating.
So you're making the case
third
for him to stay as the starter. Is that what you're saying?
We can have
Is that what you're
conversation
saying? Because I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks. And you've been looking at me crazy.
It's about to be that time.
Yes, you have been looking at me
I have
crazy.
not.
Jeezy, every time I say it, look,
Where's that videotape?
The Carolina Panthers are going to have to
You
make
want to
some
run
big
it back?
moves.
I'm looking
Check
at you.
that?
I'm looking at you like you crazy.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
know. I
they
like Kyle Allen, but Cam is
Listen,
Cam.
Bill Sudell, our
not
researcher,
yet.
is working early in the morning. I can give you the numbers for
Give
Cam.
me the numbers. What's up?
Cam Newton on third down this year versus Kyle Allen on third down. Look at that right there. 11 for
They
21.
can't see it. You got to say it.
Okay? All right, let's go to the rating. 64.2 for Cam, 103.3 for Kyle Allen on third downs this year. Money down, as they say in the NFL.
So you're saying he stays
I
in
think it's in the conversation,
So what you're
and
saying,
I think it's a possibility.
he
if they
stays in
continue
at
to win.
quarterback.
If they continue to win, yes, I do believe that is going to be a real thing.
I agree with you, don't.
It's not an opinion.
I agree with
I'm
you,
telling you,
though.
it's a thing that they don't.
It is an opinion. It's not a fact,
The
Jet.
Jaguars and the Panthers right now.
I don't know. He's bringing a lot of numbers with that fact.
All kinds of numbers. Jaguars and the Panthers right now are not making any decisions because they don't have to make the decisions right now.
That's true.
The decision is coming, and if this guy continues to play well and keeps winning, then yes, I do believe it's a very strong possibility.
See,
He's
to
the
me,
starter.
the Jags and the Panthers are in two totally different situations. You have a quarterback who has no equity with your organization and a guy like Nick Foles. And then you got like a guy in Cam Newton who is, the NFL MVP.
I get it.
Who's
Good
done
point.
so
Yep.
much for that
saying
team.
apples
And
and
that's
oranges.
Not the same guy.
I don't see. You're right.
He's not the same
You're right.
guy as
He
he
is
was
not
in
the same guy he was. You are
So
absolutely
if he's
right.
not the same guy, the play caller, and at least on film, it looks like this offense runs a little bit more efficiently without it revolving around one guy's abilities.
You're right.
So,
You're going
people
off
lose
of the
their jobs
history
over this
with
stuff,
Cam.
man.
And that's what I think ultimately will make that decision easier for that
preach.
head coach. Do I want my job or do I want to keep Cam Newton happy?
glad-
We'll talk about that a little later. Though.
I don't know. You guys should go in that room and plead your case because this is so hype. All right, in Panthers' last 13 games, they're undefeated with Kyle Allen. Look at the numbers back again.
You're making a case.
4-0, and they are winless when any other QB is under center.
Wow.
That's 0-8 with Cam Newton, 0-1 with Tyler Heineke.